Welcome back to Baby Swan channel. Today is a Buddha Purnima and we will tell you the story about Bhagwan Buddha. Bhagwan Buddha. In the Himalayan foothills, Kapilavastu was a small but prosperous kingdom. The Sakyas ruled over it. Suddhodana was their king. One day, his queen Maya Devi dreamed that a white elephant with 6 tusks pierced her womb. 10 months later, the queen was on her way to her father's house. As she was passing through a beautiful grove on the way to Lumbini. Stop! I would like to spend some time here. The queen got down and started walking towards a sala tree in the middle of the garden. Suddenly, I'm in great pain. I must rest. There a baby was born to her. It was the full moon night of Vaisakha. There was silence all around. On hearing the news, the king rushed to Lumbini and brought the mother and the child to the palace. Sage Asita came to the palace to see the baby. I see tears in your eyes, Sage Asita. Why are you unhappy? This boy will be a king of kings or great saint. I am crying because I will not live to hear his great words. Both the king and the queen were happy on the 5th day. Let us name him Siddhartha, and we will see that he becomes a king of kings and not a saint. Immediately afterwards, the queen became seriously ill. On the 7th day after the birth of Siddhartha, Sister Prajapati, I shall soon leave this world. When I am gone, please be a kind mother to Siddhartha. Promise me. I promise. After a year had passed, you have been a good mother to him, Prajapati. I love him dearly. I am proud to be his mother. As Siddhartha grew, the king became anxious about the prophecy. He spent so much time alone under that jambu tree. I don't like that. He says his playmates play cruel games. One day, as Siddhartha was walking along in the garden, poor bird, I wonder was arrow has hurt him. Siddhartha gently removed the arrow and tended to the bird's wound. Sometime later, this is my bird. I shot it. Give it to me. It was Devdatta, Siddhartha's cousin. Devdatta, it is such a lovely bird. Why do you wish to harm it? The bird belongs to me. Give it back. I won't do that. The matter was taken to the court. Prince, what right have you to keep the bird? Sir, if I had not removed the arrow, the bird would have died. The bird owes its life to me. Should the bird belongs to the one who took its life or to the one who gave it life? What the boy says is right. The one who saved the life of the bird has a greater right. Devdatta, the bird belongs to the prince. Thank you, noble judges. Years rolled by. Dandapani, a Sakyan noble, arranged the Swayamvara of his daughter, Yashodhara. Princes from far and near came to the Swayamvara. Yashodhara chose Siddhartha as her husband. The assembled princes were hurt by Yashodhara's choice. They approached Dandapani. Sir, the princess should not be married to Siddhartha. He is not a good fighter. Sir, You should hold a taste in archery. The princess should be given in a marriage to the winner. Dandapani tried to persuade his daughter. Yashodhara, choose someone else as your husband. Father, I have made my choice. Please agree to it. When the news reached the king Suddhodana, he felt sad. Father, why are you sad? The people don't think you are a good warrior. Father, let Dandapani hold a taste. I will take part in it. I am happy to hear that your ancestors were great warriors, Siddhartha. Many gathered to witness the taste. It is Siddhartha who has won in horse riding. No one could equal him in archery too. Siddhartha and Yashodhara were married with great pomp. The king tried his best to provide all the comforts of life to Siddhartha. Soon, a son was born to them. King Suddhodana was pleased when he heard the news. Lord, it is a boy. Good. Now Siddhartha will never think of becoming a saint. One day, Father, I would like to go out of the palace and see more of the world. I will order a chariot for you. After it is ready, you can go out in it. A few days later, in a beautiful chariot with 4 horses driven by Channa, Siddhartha drew through the streets of the city. How handsome the prince is! I have heard he is brave and fearless. In the city, King Suddhodana had ordered all sights of unhappiness to be kept away from Siddhartha. But as he drove further, Channa, who is this? His head is white. He seems very weak. His skin is wrinkled. He is an old man, master. He is bent with age. Does everyone get old, Channa? Yes, my lord. Everyone has to grow old. Will my Yashodhara also grow old? Will my strength go away with years? On another day, what is the matter with this man? He is ill, my lord. He is crying with pain. Is this peculiar to him? No, my lord. Anyone may fall ill in his lifetime. Even I? Yes, master, even you. Still another day. Why are they carrying that man, Channa? He is dead, my lord. Is he the only dead man, or do others also die? Everyone who is born has to die someday. I feel sick, Channa. Let us return to the palace. On the way back, stop, Channa. Who is that? He looks calm and different from all the other men I have seen. He is a saint. He has given up a life of pleasure and pain in a search of truth. At the palace, Siddhartha, please tell me the cause of your unhappiness. Mother, I have learned that all things alive and beautiful keep changing. Men grow old, men fall ill and die. I feel unhappy when I think of these things. In the middle of the night, he made the decision. I must find a way to end sorrow. I will go in search of truth like that saint. Channa, get my horse ready. I wish to ride out. Yes, master. Before leaving, the prince returned to the bedroom of his wife Yashodhara, and the child Rahula were fast asleep. I can't kiss Rahula. Goodbye. That will awaken Yashodhara. I must go. Siddhartha mounted his horse and rode out, accompanied only by Channa. Once they were outside the city, Siddhartha got down from the horse. Channa, Take all my jewels and return to Kapilavastu. He then cut off his long hair and walked alone. Later, he saw a beggar. Halt, my good man, take my clothes and give me yours. With pleasure, master. Soon he reached Rajagriha, the capital of Magad. He went from house to house silently waiting till the people offered him food. King Bimbisara observed him from his palace. Look at that saint. He looks so handsome. Find out who he is. As soon as the messenger brought news about Siddhartha, King Bimbisara went to meet him. You seem to belong to a noble family. Your hand should not hold a begging bowl, but the reins of an empire. I will give you a high position in my kingdom. Come. O king, you are kind, but I cannot accept your invitation. I feel that life is full of sorrow. I wish to find a way to end all sorrow. If that is your wish, I pray that you find it. Please come and teach me when you have found the solution. From Rajagriha, Siddhartha went in search of the great sages of those days. Not satisfied with their teachings, he entered the thick jungles of Urubilva, near Gaya of today. There were 5 hermits in the jungles of Urubilva. This man, keen on his goal, he is sure to succeed. Let us wait on him. Siddhartha drank only water and ate only fruits and herbs. He slept on the hard ground. After some time, he started eating only 1 ham grain every day. This made him very weak. One day, when he had gone to bathe in the river, I feel weak. I don't have strength to get up. He caught hold of a low branch of a tree and raised himself with its support. But as he began to walk away from the bank, he felt weak and fell down. Slowly he got up. Next day, as he sat beneath a banyan tree, Sujata, daughters of a herdsman, came to that spot. She offered food to Buddha. Thank you for feeding me. Later, how is it that you have started eating food again? I have come to believe that starving does not help in reaching the truth. The 5 ascetics were disappointed. He does not deserve our respect. Yes, he wants the pleasures of life. Siddhartha now lived a lonely life. They have left me. Let them go. But starving the body is not going to help. I am now sure of that. He moved towards a Bodhi tree and sat beneath it. Heat and cold, hunger and thirst troubled him. Rain lashed on him. Come what may, I shall not move from this seat till I find a way to end sorrow. Visions of the life of pleasure floated before his eyes, but nothing could tempt him. And then he saw light. Siddhartha became the Buddha, the enlightened one. I know the truth now. The way to end sorrow is found. He spent 7 weeks under the tree enjoying his state of perfect happiness. Then he went out in the world to teach others. First, he went to Banarasa in search of the 5 ascetics who were with him in Urubilva. He found them in Deer Park. Here comes Siddhartha. He returned to a life of ease. Let us not talk to him. But as soon as he came near, They got up and received him with respect. I have come to tell you what I have found. Listen. When they heard the Buddha, they became his disciples. The Sangha thus came into being. There is great sorrow in this world. This sorrow is because of desire. If you can free yourself from desire, you will be free from sorrow. I will show you the way to remove sorrow from the mind. After that, he returned to Urubilva and went to the house of Kashyapa, a great Brahman. What do you want? I want to spend a night here. You are welcome. Please come in. Kashyapa was a worshipper of Agni, the god of fire. May I stay in the room where you keep the sacred fire? Haven't you heard that the sacred fire is guarded by a serpent at night? The serpent will bite you if you go near the fire. I am not afraid. Please allow me to spend the night there. At last, Kashyapa agreed. Buddha sat silently before the fire. Kashyapa went to sleep outside. Early next morning, let me go and look for him. He must be dead. Poor man. When he went inside the room, he saw Buddha sitting peacefully. The light from the fire shone on his face. I accept you as my master. Teach me. Buddha taught Kashyapa and many others in Urubilva. One day, Master, I have heard that King Bimbisara will be celebrating a great yagna. Let us go to Rajagriha. On their way to Rajagriha, they saw a herd of sheep. There was a lamb. Buddha lifted it in his arm. Poor thing. It must have been suffering a lot of pain. Good man, where are you going? I am going to Rajagriha. This sheep belongs to the king. They are going to be sacrificed in the yagna, in the sacred fire. Bimbisara heard that Buddha was on his way to Rajagriha. He went forward with his ministers to meet him. He is in the company of Urubilva Kashyapa. Does that mean Buddha is his disciple? When they came near, Buddha gently placed the lamb down. You had expressed the wish to see me. After I had found the way, here I am. Holy One, I am about to begin a yagna. Great Kashyapa and you are also welcome to take part in it. O King, killing of innocent animals cannot be a good deed. The way to happiness does not lie in yagna. The king turned to Kashyapa. What has the great Kashyapa to say? You are known as a worshipper of fire. Kashyapa bowed to Buddha. I am a disciple of Buddha. I see. Buddha is the teacher. Don't you also believe in yagna? Buddha has shown me the right way. Neither the worship of fire nor the sacrifice of dumb animals can make us free from sorrow. The king turned to Buddha. Master, let us hear your words of wisdom. And Buddha taught them. Lord, I have given up the idea of performing yagna. I take refuge in Buddha. Next day, the king invited Buddha and his disciples for a meal at his palace. After the meal was over, Lord, I give Venuvana, my garden, as a gift to the Sangha. Please accept it. One day, Krisha Gotami brought before Buddha her dead child. Master, please bring it back to life. It is my only child. Control your grief. Do as I say. Get me a few mustard seeds from any house where no death has taken place, and I will bring back to life your child. From house to house, Krisha Gotami went. I lost my husband last year. I lost my 2 children. My mother died yesterday. Disappointed, Krisha Gotami came back to Buddha. Lord, I couldn't find a place where no death has occurred. My child, all that is born must die one day. There is ultimately nothing but sorrow in life. It is freedom from desire that frees us from sorrow. After a few years at Suddhodana's court, Lord, our prince has become famous. Many have become his disciples. They are spreading his teachings. Go to Siddhartha and tell him that I am growing old and wish to see him before I die. When Buddha reached Kapilavastu, welcome my son. I wish you would become king. I am sorry. I have chosen the path of peace. The king arranged for Buddha's stay in a grove nearby. Next morning, Lord, the prince is going from house to house to receive alms in the city. Quick, lead me to him. My son, must you beg? But it is our custom. What do you mean? You are descended from kings. O great king, you claim descent from kings. My descent is from the Buddhas of old. They always begged for their food and lived on alms. Once they reached the palace, Buddha spoke softly to all those that had gathered. His words are the words of a great man. They bring peace to the heart. Buddha noticed that Yashodhara was not present. Where is Yashodhara? She has refused to come. She has been very unhappy. Ever since you left, she has cut her hair, wears simple clothes, and eats sparingly just as you did. With 2 of his disciples, Buddha went to Yashodhara's chamber. I must try to heal the sorrow in her heart. When Yashodhara saw Buddha, she fell at his feet and wept. Then, remembering that others were present, she got up and sat at a little distance. Buddha spoke words of comfort. A week after, Buddha came to Kapilavastu. Rahula, do you see the man sitting there in the center? He is your father. Go to him and ask for your share of his property. Rahula went to Buddha. Father, my mother sent me to ask you for my share of your property. Buddha turned to Sariputra, his disciple. My son asked for his inheritance. Well, then take him in the Sangha. After Rahula joined the Sangha, many young men of the royal family also joined. Amongst them was Devdatta. He also moved out with Buddha one day. Master, you should rest. I shall lead the Sangha. No, Devdatta, the Sangha still needs my guidance. Devdatta felt jealous of Buddha. He went to Rajagriha and met Ajatasattu, son of King Bimbisara. Prince Ajatasattu, how long can you wait to become a king? Put your father in prison and be a king yourself. It is good idea, Devdatta. Will do as you say. Ajatasattu did as Devdatta advised him. It is nice to be a king. Thank you, Devdatta. If you want my help in anything, ask for it. I need your help, King Ajatasattu. Help me, kill Buddha. I hate him. Devdatta tried many ways to kill Buddha. Look out! A big stone is rolling down towards Buddha. Sit where you are. no harm will come to me. The rock split into two, and a piece fell on either side of Buddha. Many of Devdatta's followers came to join the Sangha of Buddha. The rock did not kill him. He looks frail, but he is great. Let us go to him. I hear many of my followers have joined his Sangha. Why not set an elephant on him? Yet another order from Ajatasattu. Intoxicate the elephant Nalagiri and then let him loose in the path of Buddha. Run, run! Nalagiri is free. He has ruined half the town already. 20 men have been killed. Master, let us hide. A wild elephant is coming this way. No, he won't harm us. Nalagiri came thumping along and rushed towards Buddha in a mad fury. Buddha smiled and raised his hand. The elephant, at once calmed, knelt at his feet. Ajatasattu was an unhappy man. He fell ill often. Chivaka was his physician. Chivaka, why do I suffer? Your ailment is not physical, but spiritual. Only Buddha can help you. Let us go to him then. Where will he be now? In the Amravana at Vaishali, which belongs to Amrapali, the cottage son. Yes, my lord, Amrapali has gifted it to Buddha. When Ajatasattu reached Amravana, I heard no sound. Where is Buddha? He is here with over 1200 disciples. Ajatasattu's mind troubled him. 1200 people, not a sound of human habitation here. Have you brought me here to be killed? Is it a plot of yours? My lord, trust me. Let us go ahead. And Ajatasattu was spellbound when he saw the assembly of men listening quietly to the great teacher. All suffering and pain, fear and hatred come from desire. The man who is free from all desire need not worry. Whom has he to fear? How so think? Ajatasattu became a disciple of Buddha. Not much later, Devdatta also repented. One day he said to his followers, "Children, take me to Buddha. He alone can bring peace to my troubled mind." The man carrying Devdatta kept down the lighter and went to refresh themselves. Where have my men gone? I am in hurry to meet Buddha. Before he could reach Buddha, he tottered and fell. I am dying, but now I know that Buddha is indeed the enlightened one, the teacher of all. I take refuge in him. Buddham sharanam gacchami, dhammam sharanam gacchami, Sangam sharanam gacchami. Buddha lived to a ripe old age. Millions took refuge in him and in his teachings. People who spoke different languages and belonged to distant lands became his followers.